Hi everybody, it's Kara McLaughlin here in Hamilton, Ontario, certified personal trainer with my Tuesdays at 2 p.m. weekly Facebook Live broadcast. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different than I usually do, which is I wanted to do a little bit of a check-in today because we're at the very beginning of May. And so we just passed the 130 of the year mark at the end of April. We've now gone a third of the year through 2017 already. I'm kind of like, whoa, what just happened? I can't believe it. But I sort of realized that and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to do a little bit of a check-in with everybody and just see how are you doing with the goals that you've been working on for 2017. I'm assuming that you probably have some fitness goals that you're working on, because if you didn't, you probably wouldn't be tuning in to listen to me yak at you every week, because I know you probably have other stuff to do too. So what I want to do today is just try to help you work through if there's something that you're struggling with, what to do, okay? But first, what I want to do is I want you guys to take a minute just to actually think about what's going well for you in terms of fitness related goals. Because what happens is we tend to always think about what's not working. Our brain sort of goes to that negative stuff. And that just gets us in a downward spiral of frustration. So what I really want to do is take a minute to think about what's going well. So think about December of 2016. Think back to then and what everything was like then in terms of your health and fitness goals that you're working on now. And so what was it like then, or looking at whatever goal it is you're working on. So say it was, you wanted to walk more. Think about back to December and how you were doing with that, or maybe, were you not walking at all? What was your kind of norm around that behavior back then? And now I want you to think about right now. Is there any difference at all? Have you made any changes? Anything, no matter how small it is. Because it's really important for us to acknowledge our victories. And we tend not to do that, and we tend to overlook them. So I don't care how small it is, even if, say, you weren't walking at all before, except for like the bare minimum you needed to do for life. And now, even if you're like taking the stairs instead of the elevator at work like once a week, and getting out for like a couple of 10-minute walks, and you weren't doing that back in December, it's important to acknowledge that, okay? So just take a minute and think about it, all right? And while you're doing that, I'm gonna go actually pull my blind because I think the lighting seems a little weird in here right now. I'm gonna try and fix it, okay? So hang tight, I will be right back. I'm still here, even though you can't see me. Okay, I don't know whether I think that lighting is better now, I hope so. Sorry guys, I kind of hopped on here really quick today and I didn't take the time to set things up the way I do usually. Alright, so I hope you can see me better now. And I hope you thought about what is going well. Alright, so hold on to that. No matter how small it is, you have accomplished, because the key here is to really take the time to acknowledge that you have accomplished something. Even if it's not everything that you want to accomplish, you have made a change. So you are capable of change, and you have gotten some change done. Alright? So now, what I want you to do is think about whatever, and this is probably going to be much easier for you, think about whatever it is, whatever fitness goal it is you have that you're still continuing to struggle with, that you're the one we're thinking, man, I really thought I'd be a lot farther along with this by now and I'm not, and of course then we kind of spiral down into that negative self-talk about it. So don't do that part. Just think about what the thing is that you were hoping to achieve. You're not quite there yet. It's all right. We're going to get you there. Okay, so some typical things I know tons of my clients are typically working on is like eating more vegetables, getting more sleep, walking more, starting to meditate, drinking more water, starting a strength training program, sitting less. Okay, so those could all be things that you're working. You shouldn't be trying to work on all of those at once, so I hope you're not. But maybe one of those things I just said is one of the things that you're trying to work on. So what I'm going to ask you to do is think about one of those specific goals. And once you have it in mind that you're struggling with, once you have it in mind, what I would like you to ask yourself is, what is one thing you can do today in less than 10 minutes to start working towards that goal? One thing you can do today, not tomorrow or next week, but I'm going to ask you to commit to doing it today in under 10 minutes that will get you moving towards that goal. This is really key to do it today. That's why I'm like going real small here, less than 10 minutes. The key here is to get you going, because we're our own worst enemy when it comes to this stuff. It's like, yeah, because creating change is hard, so anything that we're not doing now that we want to do, it takes more effort, right? So we need to kind of, it's like when you're starting, if you've ever helped somebody push a dead car, which unfortunately I've had too many experiences with, but you know when you're helping somebody move a car that's stuck and you're rocking it and you're rocking it and you're rocking it, you have to put a ton of energy into getting it going. And then once it starts moving, it's like, whee, right? It goes. Same thing here. We gotta get that little push. And so something that takes less than 10 minutes is a lot. The push doesn't feel quite as hard when I say just pick something that you can do in less than 10 minutes. But it's gonna get you going and the car's starting to move. Okay, and that is the key, because then you have momentum and then you can keep going. And even if you just do little tiny things every day, it's going to get you there. It might take a bit longer, but you're going to build energy around it, the goal, and it will take you will just naturally, you'll build momentum and it'll get going, and then you'll kind of naturally end up spending more time focusing on it. So what can you do, again, what can you do today? Today, in under 10 minutes that will move you towards this goal. So there's a few different ways you can approach this. So let's take that one of eating more vegetables, because so many people I'm working with have that one. So one thing that you might need to do to work towards this goal is actually to create a proper habit formation statement around it. Because if your goal is just to eat more vegetables, that's way too big. And I'll encourage you to go back and watch some of my previous videos, because I talk about all this stuff a ton, but in order to change your behavior, you have to have a clear and specific behavior that you are trying to create, building a new habit. So if you're just saying I need to eat more vegetables, it's not going to get you anywhere. So a clear and specific behavior statement is something like, I'm going to eat half a cup of sliced vegetables every day with lunch. Very clear, very actionable, and you know whether you did it or not right away. So if you haven't already taken that goal and made a clear habit formation statement around it, that would be an awesome first step that you can do in way less than 10 minutes, and I want you to write it down. You can also do if-then planning around your goal if you have certain struggles that you know have come up as to what, if you've been trying to work on this a while and you know what's come up as sort of foiled you from completing your behavior successfully, then you can make some if-then plans. And I'm not going to go into that in big detail. You can Google if-then planning, or you can go back and look at my video I did not too long ago. And just scroll down my profile page and you'll find it. And again, I'm totally working on getting them all up onto YouTube for you guys. I apologize, it's taken me too long to get to, and life has been a little crazy lately. I ended up buying a new car very unexpectedly last week. Anyway, so if you need to create the habit formation statement, do some if-then planning, you can do both of those in less than 10 minutes. And so that can be your thing that you can do. Other things that you could do in less than 10 minutes, sometimes some of our goals we get hung up because we might need to do a little research before we can get going with them. And sometimes this can be, I'm going to just throw this in here, sometimes it can be a little bit of a cop-out, so be careful here. Because sometimes we think, oh, I need more info, and because I do this myself, because I'm like an information junkie, hardcore research person, so I can always trick myself into thinking, I need more information before I can do anything about this. So don't use this as a cop-out, but if you legitimately do need to do some research before you can move forward towards a goal, then just take 10 minutes. Like, you might not get finished all the research you need to do, but if you really just legitimately do need to do some research, just take 10 minutes today to get started. You'll build some momentum. And some of the things maybe, like if your goal is to walk more and you don't have any shoes that are good enough for walking in, because you've just kind of lived that lifestyle where you're driving everywhere and you get out of the car and you have to walk like 20 feet somewhere and you're not a walker at all. You definitely do want some comfortable shoes before you start walking significant distances for sure. So maybe that's something you need to do, is research what the appropriate shoes are for you. But also, like I said, don't cop out here. If you have, and I'm guilty of this as well, is like in my mind, it's like I need the perfect whatever before I can do something. So again, maybe you have something that's good enough to get started and you can just walk a little bit, and then while you're doing your little bit of walking, you can buy yourself a little bit of time to do the research so you can get the better shoes to do more walking. So you may need to do some research. It might be, if you want to start a strength training program, well, number one, that's what I'm here for, but if you want to DIY it, maybe you do have to do a little bit of research on that, or to find a book at the library, or, troll around the internet a bit, but be careful, there's some really bad programs out there. Anyway, so you may legitimately have a need to do some research. So if that's the case, commit to spending at least 10 minutes, or at least 10 minutes, a minimum of 10 minutes today, or under 10 minutes. What can you do in less than 10 minutes? So if you can spend 5 to 10 minutes researching it, okay? So that's another thing. The final thing is, sometimes you can just do it. They didn't make that slogan up for no reason. Some of these goals that I rhymed off earlier, like you can, like if walking is one of them, and provided you have shoes that aren't like putting you in excruciating pain, you can just, as soon as I'm done talking here, get out the door and walk around the block for like 5 minutes even. There, you just walked more. So it can be as simple as that. We make stuff harder than it has to be. We all do. I do it to myself all the time, and I know you guys are doing it too, because my clients are doing it. So let it be a bit easier. Don't make it so hard. Other things you can just do, if your goal was to meditate more, or start meditating, let's say, and you've never done it before, and it can be intimidating, and that's where you think you need to read 9 books about it and watch 75 YouTube videos and Google endlessly because you want to make sure you're doing it right. Okay, here's the thing. If you want to start meditating, what you're going to do is you're going to set a timer for 2 minutes. You're going to find a comfy chair. You're going to sit in it. You're going to close your eyes, and you're going to focus on your breath for 2 minutes until that timer goes off. There you go. You just meditated for 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be any harder than that, okay? So you can just do that. If your goal is drinking more water, again, as soon as we're done here, get up, grab a glass of water, drink it. There you go. See how, and I know I'm not laughing at you guys, I'm laughing with you guys, because I do this kind of stuff to I struggle with drinking enough water actually myself. So, but that's how easy it can be, and there's just, we do make it hard. So really, whatever that goal is, less than 10 minutes, one thing you can do, and do it, okay? So whether it's I'm just going to quickly go, so, habit formation statement, if-then planning, research, or just doing it. You know, pick any of those suggestions I just described and just go for it. And don't do it like, it's really important, just do it today. Like, that's the important thing. Even if it's like 2 minutes, and I don't even care if it's 10, just do one little thing. That's your, remember, pushing the car until it gets going. So you're gonna get yourself going, and that's the thing that matters. It's not even what you did towards it. It's just getting yourself going, because then tomorrow you can do another little thing and you're going to build some momentum and you're going to be going. It's really just, it's that simple and it's that hard, because it's like, it's always the hardest to start. So that's why I'm like being like, do this today. Less than 10 minutes, pick something, go. Okay? So the other thing you might want to think about is, in terms of keeping yourself going once you start, is what can you do in the first 30 minutes of your day that is going to help you towards this goal that you're working on. Because I know I find, like, if I can get something in there right away, first thing in the morning, that's carrying me towards my goal, man, first of all, you just feel such a sense of accomplishment because you knocked it off right away. And it also carries you forward with more momentum on a daily basis, because if you start out working towards that goal right from when you get up, you're way more likely to continue doing more things towards that goal throughout the day. And so that first half hour, even hour of your day, that basically your morning routine, can really make or break your successes with a lot of things. Now, not every goal is going to be suitable for knocking something off in the first 30 minutes. Like, I'm back to kind of like having a few issues with, I got out of my sleep routine and now I'm like trying to get back to my regular bedtime. I was so good during the sleep challenge and for a while after, and now I've kind of fallen off the wagon a bit. So I'm going to admit, you know, I struggle with things too. I'm not perfect, so nobody is. So, you know, getting more sleep or trying to hit my target bedtime, there's not really much I can do in my morning routine for that. But a lot of goals, there is really definitely something you can do. So going back to eating more vegetables, let's nail that by getting some in at breakfast time. And I know in our North American culture, we're like, so you don't eat vegetables at breakfast. Like most people, like we're so used to like a bowl of disgusting pre-sweetened cereal. Like, who decided that was breakfast? Like, ugh. Anyway, totally get some veggies in at breakfast, and then you'll be like, yeah, I already got 1 or 2 servings in. So what are some ways you can do that? If you're a smoothie drinker in the morning, get some veggies in there, throw in some avocado or some greens and blend it up in there. There you go. If you like eggs for breakfast, you can either stick some in an omelet, or if you're, you know, like you can do scrambled eggs with vegetables or like wilted spinach and stuff in it too. So, or if you're really on the ball, you can like make an egg and vegetable frittata the night before, and there you go. But I know we don't always time for that. And another one, like a lot of times I eat roasted vegetables for breakfast, like probably at least 50% of the time, which is, I know, something in our culture that we're like, you're eating what for breakfast? But you know what? I really like it now. It was weird at first, but now I'm like, I want my veggies. So, you know, if you're putting stuff if you're roasting anything, like chuck a pan of vegetables in to roast with it, and then you'll have veggies to eat at breakfast. I don't care. You can eat carrot sticks for breakfast if you like to. I don't care what you do. Just find a way to work a serving of veggies in first thing. And then, like, it's crazy how much, like, you just feel like, yeah, I already got something towards that goal of, like, if you're trying to eat 5 servings of vegetables in a day and you get 1 or 2 in at breakfast time, you just start the day thinking, woo! You know, I'm well on my way. Because otherwise it's like sometimes you like end up at dinner time, it's like, oh my goodness, I haven't even eaten a single serving of vegetables yet today, and then you feel like, oh. Anyway, so other goals you can do that with, if it's the drinking water thing, drink a glass of water right when you get up. I finally started doing that, and now that it's a habit, it's pretty easy. Like, I'm just not a natural water drinker. I don't know. I must have been like some kind of critter that doesn't drink water in a previous life or something. But so it is something that is a bit of a struggle for me. But one habit that I started was just drinking a glass of water right when I got out of bed. And so that's like totally part of my morning routine now, and I just do it. So that's another one that's easy to slide in there. What else? Oh, so if your goal was to do a strength training program, one thing you can knock out in the first, even if you don't want to do a full quote unquote workout first thing in the morning, just knock out a couple of exercises. Do a few squats or a few push-ups or something, and there you've built some momentum with that. And it's really surprising if you start these little habits, they just really carry you along beautifully. And it just builds and builds and builds. So do not minimize the power of these little things. I know I say that to you guys practically every week, but I've had so many discussions with people about this. We're always looking for some big magic thing that's going to fix everything. It's not a big thing that's going to fix everything. It's all these teeny tiny little things that seem totally insignificant, okay? Sometimes there are some big leaps that we have to make, but most of the time, for most of the things we want to change, it's just teeny tiny little changes, and over time adding more and more of those, okay? So do not minimize the importance or the power of doing these things, okay? And then just roll your eyes and not do it, okay? These things can be powerful, powerful, life-changing things, even though they seem little. All right. So other things that you can do in just right at the beginning of your day, you know, if you can just do a quick little walk, if you want to walk more, you might not have time in the morning to do like 20 or 30 minutes, but again, can you just get out there for a few minutes, that walk around the block, or, you know, I have a couple little parks right around me, so I could like do a quick little walk to the park and back, and just because this is going to be a total like side tangent, but even like that, getting outside and getting sunlight on your skin and your eyes is like really amazing for you in the morning too. So that's like a bonus benefit. Okay, so those are all things that you could really easily just incorporate a little bit of into your morning routine. So again, the question is, what can I do in the first 30 minutes or 30 to 60 minutes of my day that's going to help me work towards this goal? And you'd be so surprised at you know, and don't just automatically think there's nothing. Like I said, some things it might not be anything, but try and be as creative as possible. And even if you're time crunched in the morning, like just find that little thing. How long does it take to drink a glass of water, right? Or throw the veggies in your smoothie, or whatever you decide to do. But really, like, the power of just nailing it right out of the gate in the morning, like for me, because I'm not a morning person, I keep telling you guys that, because it's not my, you know, I've never been like a super early bird, so, but I really do love my morning routine now, and it sets you up for feeling successful for the rest of the day. Oh, and two things I want to mention that everybody can do as part of their morning routine, and this is going to sound totally dumb the minute I say it, but two things that you can do, and I'm going to explain it more in a sec. Two things you can do to, no matter what your goal is, but two things you can do that will help set you up for more success are making your bed in the morning, and two, taking a few minutes to plan your day. So you could do both of those combined in under 10 minutes, I think, in the morning, or under, you know, I'll give you 15 max, okay, to do those two things. And you're going to be like, well, Karen, how is that going to help me with my goal to walk more or eat more vegetables or whatever? It makes no sense whatsoever. Or how is making my bed going to help me do that? Well, there's not a direct connection, but there's just fascinating research, which is, and this comes out of, I'm trying to think of the name of the book. I think it's The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. He wrote some really interesting stuff in there about keystone habits, and I have mentioned this before, but in case you missed it, a keystone habit is a habit that acts almost like a domino effect in your life. So by doing this one thing, it starts to create widespread change in the rest of your life. even though there may not be any direct connection between that habit and the other things that change in your life. And this just fascinates the heck out of me because they have clearly demonstrated this, but I don't think anybody knows exactly why, what the mechanism is of why this happens. And I like it when things are mysterious like that and we can't quite figure them out. But the research is there. So they've shown people who make their bed in the morning, all of a sudden all these other things, they're eating better, they're exercising more, blah, blah, blah. Like, it just creates a ripple effect, if you will, throughout your life. And the same with planning your day is another one of them. And actually exercising is one which makes me feel great because I know, I truly believe, creating more movement in your life is extremely transformative to your entire life, not just the things that we think of. It naturally benefits, like we look better and have more energy and stuff. But anyway, so if you have a goal that you're working on, like the getting to bed on time at a certain time, that doesn't seem to lend itself well to a more like what can you do in the morning towards the goal. At a minimum, no matter what you're working on, you may want to, if you're not already a bed maker, you may want to start making your bed in the morning. And if you don't already plan your day, you may want to take 5 or 10 minutes. So just sit down with a good old pen and paper, or if you like to use Google Calendar, then do that. But I'm old school with the pen and paper. I think there's something about the pen and paper that seems to me to be more powerful. Anyway, just write down your quick little plan for the day, the top 3 things you need to do, the things appointments you need to remember, whatever. It takes 5 minutes, and these things have just been shown by research to actually help you create more widespread positive change in your whole life. Okay, so if nothing else in the morning, you should be doing those 2 things. And then if you do have a goal that lends itself well to getting something in right early in the day, drinking that water, getting those veggies in, walking, whatever. There's lots of other goals that, doing a few strength moves. Definitely knock it off right in that early part of your day. It's just you're gonna feel like a different person. You're gonna feel like you have more control over yourself and your ability to achieve what you want to achieve, and it just builds powerfully from there. Okay, so guys, I hope that whatever the goal is that you've been struggling with, that I shouldn't even say I hope, I know you guys can do it because I just told you how. So once I switch this off, I want you guys to either go do that less than 10 minute thing right away, or I want you to quickly think about your day and set a specific time in your head when you can do that. Like after dinner, as soon as I've done the dishes, I'm going to go do that thing Karen said that I need to do with that less than 10 minute thing towards my goal. Okay, so either right immediately after I finish yapping, which is just going to be in a minute, or pick a specific time today to do it, okay? I know, less than 10 minutes, you can totally do this, all right? And please, if you're having trouble, like if you're really struggling with something and you can't figure out how to get around it, I hope I just gave you the information. But if you're really stuck, like that's why I'm here, that's why I do these. So please feel free to comment, leave me a comment, private message me, send me an email at yourfitnessgroove@gmail.com. You can contact me, or if you're a Twitter, you're obviously on Facebook listening to this, unless you're listening to it on YouTube, because I finally got it posted on YouTube, which hopefully will be soon. I have a 10-minute goal around that. So anyway, just please contact me, reach out if you're struggling, because that's what I'm here for, and I'd love to help you achieve those goals, because you know what, the world's just a better place when we all achieve our goals and feel satisfied and fulfilled, and so that's what I want for all of you guys. All right, so until next week, don't give up. Please don't give up, even if you haven't thought about this goal since January the 3rd, but you want it. Do not give up. Just replay this video, follow the instructions, and you'll get right back on track. And you might fall off again, but then you just do this again. Just keep going with it, okay? Don't give up. All right? So I hope this is helpful. I hope you're back. I know you can do it. So I know you're getting back on track. All right? Hang in there. until next week, when once again, I haven't decided what the heck it is I'm going to talk about yet, but but if you want to know in advance, sign up for my newsletter, because I will always send out an email at least the day before saying what the topic is going to be. All right, or you can always just find me here 2 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday, or just check in anytime after that and it'll be on my profile. All right, so until next time, hang in there, guys, rock the goal, get back on track, and I will see you next Tuesday at 2, when I know you will have gotten much further ahead with whatever it is that you're working on. All right, take care and have a great week. Bye, everybody.